Hello, welcome. My name is Amata, and this time I'm going to be bringing you a bit of a gaming news special on a recent document supposedly leaked about the Xbox 720. Now, the leaked document was about 56 pages long, so as you might imagine, there's quite a lot of information released, and a lot of it is very interesting, and quite cool as well. Actually makes me kind of excited for the new console. Basically, in this document, Microsoft's vision for the Xbox 720 is clearly listed, with Blu-ray, native 3D output, concurrent apps, and additional sensor and peripheral support. And as anyone who's been paying attention will know, they've also teased us with the promise of a 6 times performance increase from the Xbox 360, of course. But what's more interesting, in conjunction with that, is there's a mention of true 1080p output and full 3D support, and as well as an always-on state for the console. I don't really know what that means, online only or something. It's kind of unclear what that means. It could mean that, you have to be constantly connected to the internet, which I hope not, but yes. But I, along with most people I feel, are most interested in this particular thing about the true 1080p output. I'm sure a lot of us are finally happy to see that consoles are moving into having true 1080p and having a resolution option that will at least compete with the PC. Obviously, it would just improve the overall appearance of the games, and obviously PC has been 1080p for God knows how long, so it's nice that console is finally starting to catch up with that. Now also, the document also talks about the number of cores. Now basically, it's going to be scalable, and the company making it seems to be finding it hard to decide between 6 or 8 RAM based cores or going to the x86 route, each clocked around 2 GHz each with 4 GB of DDR4 memory, as well as some backwards compatible PPC cores clocked at 3.2 GHz. Now obviously, backwards compatibility, awesome. I definitely think this would be a good plan for Microsoft to do this, because whenever a new console is released, the launch is always the hardest time, because there's not many early adopters, because the launch titles usually not too great, apart from maybe a couple of strong contenders if you're lucky. So the addition of backwards compatibility so that you can play your Xbox 360 games as well as whatever new titles that be released on the console at launch will obviously entice a lot more people to buy it at launch rather than waiting for more games to come out, as most people would tend to do. So I definitely think they should add this. Adding in this feature would be a huge plus for me and many people, I feel. Obviously a big thing with the Xbox 360 was that it wasn't really backwards compatible with a lot of titles released on the Xbox. Now that wasn't a too big a deal then, because Xbox, wasn't as big a deal, as good a console, at least in my opinion. It didn't have that many good games on it, at least from what I saw. This is just my personal opinion, correct me if I'm wrong. But it's obviously going to be a huge deal for the Xbox 360, because that's been a very popular console, and the console generation has gone on for a long time now, so obviously all of us Xbox 360 owners have got a huge back catalogue of games, and more games to be released on it in the future, so we'll be more inclined to splash out on the new console if we can play our old games as well as the new games on launch. So I really hope Microsoft is definitely going to go through with this. They haven't really commented on any of this, and the document has actually been pulled from wherever it was leaked to. But still, I really hope that this fact in itself is true, as well as the true 1080p. They're also going to be trying to push it as the only box required for living room entertainment with background recording for TV and Windows 8 Foundation, to make it that much easier for app developers to build apps for not only the console but the PC and the Windows Phone. Now this is quite interesting, because it's kind of what the PS3 was trying to do as well on launch, basically market itself as like a multi-function device. Excuse me, DVD, Blu-ray player, media center with the music, and gaming center, internet, all that good stuff. So I definitely think this is the right way to go, because if someone thinks, oh, well I can just use it for this and this as well, then the amount of money they have to fork out doesn't seem as much, because they're getting more use out of it. So if they are planning to do this, which it seems like they are, I'm very pleased. Now in terms of the price, the price was listed as $299 with its connect to hardware and a prediction of a 10-year lifespan. So yes, price-wise, obviously a little more expensive than it was on release of the Xbox 360, I think. $300, it's kind of hard to tell, but you know, it's a reasonable price. $300 is probably about, I don't know, £230 or something like that, a complete guess. 250, something like that. Anyway, so it seems a very reasonable price actually, but I don't know if this whole thing of a 10-year life cycle will actually happen. I'm sure they'd love to get that much life out of it because they've gotten a huge amount of life out of the Xbox 360, of course. But would we really want the next console generation to be going on that long? I don't really know, to be honest, because one of the effects of this console generation going on so long is that it's kind of been holding gaming back a little bit, because obviously developers can't really push the boat out with graphics or design, or you know, how much memory it uses or whatever. You know, they kind of have to find all these tricks to get able to get their game to run on the Xbox 360 with its limited hardware. So I don't know if we'd want to be in that situation again in another 8 years, where the Xbox 720 and PS4 or whatever are holding gaming back, because you know, the PC technology or just technology in general has been advancing, while those have been staying stagnant. Obviously, a long console generation is good, but just not maybe as long as 10 years. So yeah, tell me what you think of this, guys. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. I think this sounds very, very cool. I mean, the way it's worded as well, Blu-ray support, kind of makes it seem like maybe the Blu-ray will be external or something like that. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. It doesn't actually say in the facts that I'm looking at right now, but the information that we do have does seem very, very interesting. And it makes it seem like a very cool console indeed. I'm just interested to see what you guys think. You've heard my thoughts as I'm been giving you this news and speculating on the console's future and how it will do and stuff like that, but I want to hear from you guys. How do you think this is going to do? Do you think this sounds good, or does this make you shake your head in frustration? Do let me know, and as always, you know, give us a like, check out the channel. We've got a lot of content at the moment. Crimson just posted a video yesterday about if subscription MMOs actually have a place in today's market, so it's an interesting discussion going on there in that video, so go check it out if you're interested, and give us a like if you're feeling generous, and I'll see you again soon.